So this is the Guthrie Green Park right here that we're approaching. And Guthrie Green Park, the reason that it's there is that geothermal wells were drilled in this area so that the nonprofit arts community here that has just recently been established so that they would have cheaper green energy. And this was done by the George Kaiser Family Foundation. So they cleared an area out that was, I think it was a commercial trucking area, and they cleared it out. They dug the geothermal wells. Well, when you do that, you cannot build a structure on top of that. So they didn't have any use for the land. So what they did is they developed a park for $3 million that was going to be named Brady Park. Well, after the 2011 Tate Brady article that was published by This Land and that I wrote, once that came out, they didn't want to name it Brady. They didn't want to continue naming things Brady. So the Brady Park, they had like an email chain that went around, and they asked for suggestions for names, and Guthrie won it. So they changed Brady Park to the Guthrie Green. And so that's what it celebrates now, is the legacy of Guthrie, whose archive is owned by the George Kaiser Foundation and stored in the Woody Guthrie Center across the street from the Guthrie Green. So as we're approaching here, what we're walking up to is Martin Luther King Boulevard, or Cincinnati. So we are technically right now in the Brady Arts District, which is designated by the Brady Historic Registry that was passed in 2010. So in 1950, if we were walking over here, this would have been a segregated area. This would have been the African American area right here. And we would have been walking up to the color line, which is Cincinnati, now Martin Luther King. Behind me is the Guthrie Green Market, and this is Martin Luther King Boulevard. This commemorates the legacy of Martin Luther King, and it took the name North Cincinnati, and they changed the name just recently with all this new development to Martin Luther King Boulevard. But once you get to the tracks, which is over here to my south, the name stops. So South Tulsa does not celebrate the legacy of Martin Luther King. It's only meant for North Tulsa if you study the geography of the city and how the name was implemented.